People who observe gorillas in their natural habitat marvel at how human-like they are and recognize that we must protect their habitat and ensure their survival. A journalist and environmentalist, Michael Shellenberger, is one such observer, making that point in his outstanding book, Apocalypse Never: Why Environmental Alarmism Hurts Us All. Now, I know some will say, hey, with that title, the author must be an ultra-MAGA climate-denying conspiracy theorist. But hear me out. Michael Shellenberger is actually a tree-hugging leftist who, in his youth, moved to Latin America to live among the subsistence farmers. A working-class guy who respects nature. He also wants to protect penguins. Shellenberger follows the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, but notes that the IPCC says animals will survive higher predicted temperatures. They're more threatened by loss of habitat. Deforestation is the boogeyman, not the greenhouse effect. Humans living near nature preserves tend to be poor. For energy, people cut down trees for firewood or to make charcoal. Shellenberger recounts the bizarre story in Uganda, where one day the local mafia assassinated gorillas. The park ranger wouldn't turn a blind eye to illegal logging from mafia charcoal businesses. So the criminals killed a few of the gorillas on his nature preserve to make a point. Given the poverty in the area, deforestation will continue, legal or not. But what if people could cook with natural gas or even electricity supplied by coal-fired plants? Well, they wouldn't need charcoal or firewood. Fossil fuel could save the forests. But aren't fossil fuels evil, while firewood is renewable? Well, you could replant the forest, and over 30 years new growth will suck in the carbon from burning the wood in the first place. But where will the animals live for those 30 years? But can we do even better for the gorillas? Shellenberger says we can. Awesome. It all starts with intensive farming. The idea is to use modern equipment, techniques, and fertilizers to produce the most food possible per acre. The subsistence farmers would give up their marginal lands and get jobs in the cities, freeing their land for reforestation. The animals and nature will reclaim it. Critics hate the idea. Oh, but you burn fossil fuels with your tractors and trucks. True, but the forests you replant suck huge amounts of carbon from the air. The net effect is actually positive for the environment. So Shellenberger reaches the provocative conclusion that sweatshops can save the planet. Any city jobs, even low-paid ones, allow the subsistence farmers to return their land to nature. Over time, wages will increase as the economy develops. So in Shellenberger's world, it actually helps the environment to let poor countries develop economically, even with the investment of some CO2 emissions. And as those economies develop, energy demand, particularly for emission-free energy, increases. And Shellenberger flips the standard green narrative on its head by opposing renewables. Land use again is the key. The solar farms require huge amounts of land, but are useless at night, as are wind farms when it isn't windy. Meanwhile, nuclear can run 24/7 and uses a tiny fraction of the land needed to produce the same energy. And as energy demand increases, we would need to chop down forests and convert croplands into solar and wind farms to meet demand. So paradoxically, nuclear energy is more sustainable than renewables. Yet Shellenberger documents how aid agencies and NGOs continue to push the solar and wind narratives, particularly in Africa, even if it condemns millions of people to poverty. Shellenberger flips the narrative again on the issue of single-use plastics. He describes a sad viral video of a sea turtle with a plastic straw wedged in its snout. A shameful scene on behalf of the human race for sure. So we should ban plastic straws, right? Nope, that's just virtue signaling to eliminate 0.01% of plastic waste. We need to aim at the other 99.99% too. Most plastic waste, he says, gets dumped in the water because communities are too poor to collect and dispose of it properly. Again, the solution is to develop the economy enough to fund waste management. Sadly, the enviro elites believe poverty is good for the environment and CO2 levels. The book is filled with surprises. You'll learn how fossil fuels save the whales from extinction, and how oil companies fund environmental groups to oppose nuclear energy. It's all well documented and researched, and leans on a plethora of global contacts and lifelong experience. Finally, the book ends with a thought-provoking chapter about the psychology of climate alarmism, and how it resembles an angry religion that wants to punish humanity for its sins. Kudos to Shellenberger. Now please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Click the box for the next video or visit the channel page for the full list of my videos. Cheers!